Alright, it's Steve from Steve's Model Builds back again with another unboxing and review. And another treat today. This just came from, as you can guess, Amazon Prime. There we go. And so let's get down to it. Let's open her up here and see what we got. If you don't, you should save these bags. They're handy for all kinds of stuff, especially if you're going to ship anything. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, another Revell kit. How about that? Okay. So, again, about Revell. I'm not sure about this kit. I'm going to have to look at it, which I'm doing for the first time right now. Excuse me. But a lot of the after Matchbox went out of business, Revell got a lot of their molds and so on and so forth. They bought them up. They had already been kind of in a partnership with them in West Germany and so forth. So, in any case, the thing was that a lot of kits like this were in Revell boxes with Revell instructions, but they were actually Matchbox kits. And of course, if you haven't already figured out from my comments, Matchbox kits were great. So we're going to take a look at this and see what it's all about. Okay, so this is the SD KFZ or Z. Don't ask me to say it in German, I have no idea. 234-2 or /2 Puma or Puma, depending on where you live and how you talk. This was an armored car, as you can see. It's not a tank, although it has a turret. And after the First World War and the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was severely restricted from the type of weapons it could produce. And they weren't allowed to produce tanks. So they produced armored cars. The whole thing fell apart, obviously, and it all ended up as in World War II. But after the war and after the Treaty of Versailles, throughout the 20s, people had pretty much moved on, and they really didn't want to think about the war anymore. And nobody really held Germany to account when they started rearming and so forth. Some of it was secret, but then by the time Hitler came to power in the 1930s, they were just blatantly ignoring the treaty and just building what they wanted. Excuse me. So that's a bit of the history there. That's why they went with armored cars. Plus, they found them to be very useful. They're faster than tanks. They're lighter than tanks. This particular version had a 50 millimeter gun, which is about 2-inch gun. So it did pack some punch. And like I said, they were fast. They were maneuverable. They were great as scout cars or as advanced infantry support. Right off the top here, the envelope, Amazon Prime, good stuff. There's a little crease on the box here, but that could have happened even before it was shipped. So I'm not gonna be too hard on them for that. Something like that, it's not going to damage the interior anyways. And so we've got the usual Revell stuff, the skill level or difficulty level, 4 out of 5. The scale, 176, has 69 parts, and it's about 9 centimeters long. Okay, so that's the front. And at the side, this is a side opening box. Got some stuff there, and some stuff here. This looks like it might have been squished a bit. And there is a crease here. So hopefully everything will be intact inside. The reason I got this, and this is going back to Matchbox again. Matchbox was the first company to do this. They actually gave you a little diorama. It wasn't just the model, but there was a base and some figures and so on and so forth. So it was pretty revolutionary at the time. No one else was doing that, and very few have done it since. So either Revell has adopted this idea for certain kits, or as I said, it's entirely possible that it's original Matchbox parts, in which case I'll be very happy. So we got on the side here a model construction kit of the special motor vehicle. I guess that's what STKFZ means. 234/2, which became known under the name Puma or Puma. Very powerful 8-wheeled armored scout car used by the German Wehrmacht. That's the Land Forces Army. This particular version from 1943 onwards. And says it has a decal set for 2 versions. So that's pretty good. Its predecessor also served in North Africa, but this particular model was served in Europe and on the Eastern Russian front. From the paint scheme here and the camouflage scheme, this looks like and the thatched roof here, this looks like it's a depiction of the European model. And also, this looks to be a photograph of the completed and painted, decorated, decal model kit. There's no signature here for the box art, so I think it was probably just a kind of a generic backdrop, and they plunked it down there. Oh, there is a signature there, so good. Yeah, that's good. But they haven't, I don't know why they didn't, but they didn't put it on the front with the full diorama. So we've got that. And on the other side it says keep packaging for later questions. And it says 2019 Revell, made in Poland. Okay. And we've got the number here, the kit number, serial number 03288. Alright, so let's see, we've got some tape here. This is kind of cool, you know, they give it to you kind of from all angles, and they give you a little picture of the sprue. And level 4, detailed model kits for advanced model builders. Experience in adhesion and painting required. not suitable for children under the age of 12. So there you go, that's fine. Alright, let's open her up and see what we got. There we go. The instruction booklet. And a single bag of sprues. Doesn't look like anything's loose in here. This is taped shut. You know, again, it might not seem like much that, a diorama was provided, but, back in the 70s and so forth, it would have been a cool little thing, you could build a whole thing, and zip, off you go, make your little diorama, you could paint it or not. Alright, so, I went and looked on ScaleMates, and my suspicion was correct, and I'm very happy. This was actually originally a Matchbox kit, and this particular tooling was from 1978. So, I'm pleased about that because, again, this would be, the way the Matchbox was. And Matchbox is always great. When I reviewed the Revell 172 Avro Lancaster, that was the Revell tooling from later on, and you saw all the flash and junk and all sorts of stuff. The sprues were kind of springy from, in places, and stuff had fallen off, broken off. But again, it was an old kit. But anyways, I'm very happy to learn that this is the actual Matchbox parts. So we'll take a look and see here. There's the gun, there's the bent lamppost and base for the diorama base. This looks like everything you need for the body and the wheel hubs, but without the wheels. Everything looks intact, nothing looks broken. Sprue number 2. We've got the tires, which are, I don't know if you can see. You can see the tread. And then here's the diorama. I'm getting excited. I think maybe I'm going to build this sooner than later. The diorama base is nicely detailed. I'll make this light so you can see better. This is where the model sits. Here is like a little bomb crater with some sort of utility pipes or whatever exposed, and a little sewer grate. I don't know if you can see that. You can see a sewer grate. The light's not that great. There, you can see it there. Just barely see it there. So definitely stuff you can do with that as far as painting is concerned. And then we've got the brick sides, the bricks to the side. Let me turn this over so you can see it. So you've got the base, and then you've got the two bricks on either side. And three nice figures. You've got a German soldier here with it's probably a Schmesser, a submachine gun. Got an officer here with his pistol drawn, and there's like a soldier here with binoculars. As I said, this was often used as a scout car. So, so yeah, that'll be fun. There we go. That's it for parts. It's raining today, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start this right away. There's plenty more stuff in the pipe coming down. So for packaging, I'm going to have to take off a quarter point for the external shipping packaging. The box did get dented and bashed, so that's and it was one bag, but I'm not going to knock off for that because it was only 2 sprues and they fit together beautifully. There's no clear plastic on this model either, so yeah. So it's a 1.75 on the packaging. Sprues, complete, perfect, pristine. All the parts are attached, and I honestly, I can't find any flash, which is what I'd expect from a Matchbox kit. So the sprues are complete, the parts are attached, no flash or molding, and so that gets the full 2 points. And I think today I'm going to give that an extra bonus, quarter point. So that's 2 1/4. Parts themselves, quality of plastic is good. The detail's nice. There aren't any warped or broken parts. And we'll slide out the decals here. They're usually tucked away in this caution sheet. There we go. Very nice. These would have been new. I don't know why I'm getting that glare. Anyways, there we go. So those are very nice. Actually, it says printed in Italy, but these are from 2019. So that's great. They should work perfect. Get the usual caution in all the different languages. Keep out of the reach of children, etc., etc. So we can set that aside. Okay, move this over. All right, so yeah, just as we saw with the Arc Royal kit, got a nice glossy paper booklet. This shows you the completed and decorated diorama. That's pretty cool. You know, for younger people now, you know, they might go, yeah, so what, right? But let me tell you, if you were a kid in the 70s and you spent a couple weeks of allowance on this, because they weren't expensive at all, spend a couple weeks allowance on this, and boy, you'd be really happy, even if you didn't paint it. So what I do notice though in this depiction, instead of the German with the binoculars, they actually have what looks like a captured German or a captured American. Yeah, looks American. A captured American soldier. So I'm not upset about that. I'd rather have the guy with the binoculars. So nothing wrong with that. No complaints there. You know, somebody might say, yeah, it's not as shown, blah, 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 blah. But you know, if you look around enough, you would see the um, the German soldier with the binoculars. So, and as usual, you know, please note the enclosed safety advice. Then we get into it. We've seen these before. Same format. So, you know, read and understand the instructions. Um, you know, how to locate the part numbers on the sprue. Tips on how to uh, keep stuff together while the glue sets. Uh, rinse in warm soapy water, and then rinse it well with clear water. They show you how to, you know, take it off the sprues, do the test fitting, paints. This is exactly the same as the Arc Royal updated instructions. And these are very good, no complaints. You got the legend, same legend, glue, don't glue, paint, do this twice, step number. The large asterisk snowflake is it means there's a sub-assembly, and they're showing you the complete sub-assembly. This one here, it's a little arrow going around, and it means repeat the same procedure on the opposite side. When to soak and apply the decals, and the decal set. I used the decal set on the de Havilland Mosquito 172 Matchbox model, and it came out real nice. And then we've got the small asterisk snowflake that says, you know, that part's not included for whatever reason. All right, and then we've got the various different paints. This particular one doesn't show you how to mix paints or the proportions or anything like that, but you know, that's the kind of thing you're just going to have to practice. And oh, by the way, I should mention about $25 including tax, Canadian. So I expect I'll get plenty of entertainment out of that $25. Here we have a sprue map, which is always nice, even though there's only 2 sprues. Little note about spare parts. As far as I know, they're really good about that. If you if you break a part, or you know, if a part is broken, can't be fixed, you can contact them, and 9 times out of 10 they'll just send it to you. They might ask you to pay for postage, but probably not. So. Okay, and then we get into the instructions. Quite simple, straightforward. Got where the gun fits, the turret. This particular model had a closed turret. Later models often had an open turret. That fits in there, and that's where the gun is. You don't glue this so that you'll be able to go up and down. Same thing here with the turret. Don't glue that so it can go back and forth. And so now you've got this completed assembly, and that goes on to the body. Very just simple, straightforward steps. How to put together the wheels with the tires, the suspension. Great stuff. Gives you all the details, all the little things you should paint if you're going to paint. And there we go. We get down to the final assembly, all the little accessories. It'll show you what color to paint, where they go, everything like that. Then there's the assembly of the diorama. The lamppost is supposed to be bent. They always did that. I don't know why. I guess made it look more like a war zone. So whatever the case may be. So yeah, and then it shows you the color to paint the shell hole, and the diorama base. And as well here too, we've got the how to paint the figures. Then here we have the various paint schemes. Like it said, there were decals for 2 versions. This is for the Panzer Lehr division from November 1944. It would have been in the Battle of Normandy and the Scheldt and up through Holland as the Allies advanced. And then this was from the 20th Panzer Division. They don't give a date on that, but it was probably 1943, 1944. Blank page at the back. Would be a good place you could make notes. This was good, this was not good. You can jot down how much time you're spending on it. That's another thing that's great about ScaleMates, is not only do they have the database of the model kits, but they've also got what they call stash management. Your stash, your collection of models. You can enter them in there, and the date you bought it, the version of the kit, all that kind of stuff. And as well, in addition to that, they've got like a spreadsheet so that you can note, what when you built the model, any notes, any problems, whatever the case may be, and again, like I said, how many hours you spent on assembling the model. So if you really want to drill down into that kind of stuff, that's great. Whatever helps you to enjoy the hobby more. And again, I can't say it enough. Most people are going to do this for themselves, and the idea is to do the best you can. All right, without and don't be too critical of yourself. It's like anything else. The more you do it, the more you practice, and the more you kind of stretch yourself, maybe try something different, try something more advanced. Really, the hobby is what you make of it. And so, if you just want little kits that you can slap together and then put them on the shelf, and that's all there is to it, great. If you decide there's a little kit that you want to fully paint and decorate, and maybe even build a diorama for it, go for it. No reason not to. If you screw up and you make a mistake, so what? You've learned something. And that's why, especially at the beginning when you're starting out in the hobby, it's a good idea to buy cheaper kits. Because especially when you start painting, you are going to mess up. It's sometimes you can fix it, other times you can't. But again, if it's a more inexpensive kit, it's not going to be the end of the world. You can put it in the back of the shelf, or you can paint a big blast mark on it, and cut a hole in it, and put it in a diorama like it's a wrecked vehicle, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so there we go. that's the kit. Parts, in the parts category, quality of plastic's good, detail is nice, there were no warped or broken parts, decals look fine, no photo etch or aftermarket parts. If you have leftover photo etch from another 172 model, there are places you could use it, most notably on the radiator here. So yeah, 3 out of 3 on that. On the instructions, and this seems to be more common now with the Revell, the newer instructions. They don't give you a lot of information. So general and service history notes, you're going to have to knock off a quarter point on that because there really wasn't much at all. The instructions are certainly clear. They're in color, which is nice. And you know, they give you all the details on the painting and so on and so forth. So so that's 2.75. So so with the quarter point bonus for the sprues, that comes to a very impressive 9.75. And from what I'm seeing here, I think that I think the final build rating is probably going to be excellent, but one step at a time on that. So again, everything I'd expect from a Matchbox kit, with much nicer instructions and up-to-date decals. So that's it for this review. That's 9.75. I think that's the highest rating I've given yet. You may have noticed I don't beat up on companies too much. I do try and be fair on something really like like the warped flight deck on the Ark Royal. That that's a full point deduction. Sorry guys, but it's that'll cause nothing but grief. But as you've seen with my other unboxings and reviews, I really don't try to beat up on them too much. So that's it for today. Thanks again to all my subscribers. Up to 49 now, and so let's go for 50, and hopefully with the improved audio, there's going to be a lot more people who are interested. And again, about the audio, if you do find you're still having problems with the audio, it's not perfect. I still have to tweak it a bit. But if you're really having problems with the audio, then leave a comment, and I'll take a look into it. But most of the issues seem to have been resolved by switching to the VLC media player. All right, so that's it, and we'll see you on the flip side for the next build, unboxing, whatever comes up next. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you found it enjoyable and informative. Have a great day.